Hi everyone, if you're watching this. I think I'll wait till we get a couple of more viewers, and I'm certain that we can send the links out as well, and sort of let everyone know where we are. But yes, this is an Englishman in San Diego, myself, Leonard Sultana, and this is Alyssa Franks. We're getting the chance to do this kind of face to face,
Live and in person.
live and in person. So if you bear with us, what we're going to do is we'll do a full introduction in a couple of minutes' time, but we'll just get the links and share them out. And if you are watching this, do let everyone know that we're doing it. And of course, if you are in San Diego at this point, you are more than welcome to join us. We would absolutely love to hear from you. Of course, we would like your comments, your thoughts on how it's all gone. So yes, do let us know how that all plays out. So let's just turn that so we can see what we're doing.
Shattered.
It is very much so. I mean, I'm just going to try and find my phone so I can send some links out as well.
Absolutely, and
That's
I will
I'm
going to post it on the forum
do you
too.
want to say hi and sort of like
Absolutely.
thank a few? Do you want to thank a few people? That might be.
Oh, it was just amazing catching up with everybody. I think that was the big thing. Got to see all of my friends that I haven't seen in a year, and good friends that I talk to every day, every other day on the forum and in message and tweeting, and it's just hung out, had beer, enjoy.
Well, tell you what, tell you what. Let's do the full introduction, and then we'll do that. We'll actually do a thanks and all that kind of thing. So, hello and welcome to Talking Comic-Con, an Englishman in San Diego. My name is Leonard Sultana. I am the Englishman in San Diego. It would usually be a cup of tea with, except on Monday after Comic-Con, it is more a case of a bottle of water with an Englishman in San Diego, purely because we are, well, I certainly am recovering at this point, because it was a very long and arduous Comic-Con. Last night was fun and games because it was a bit of drinking involved. I was determined to let off some steam last night. Not only did I, however, let off some steam, I also let off a hoodie and the cap. One or two people have. I know I'm going to have to try and find something as a replacement for that. I actually.
You do need a hat, don't you?
I know. It's very, very shiny. Very shiny.
It's very shiny.
I know. This is it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the 13th of July. It is the Monday after San Diego Comic-Con 2015. It's been a long road to get here. To get to San Diego this year. Lots of people putting in a lot of effort on pretty much every kind of platform, from CCI with all of their efforts, which have been monumental. I mean, if you actually, myself and Alyssa, we attended the talkback yesterday, which was effectively the last panel of Comic-Con, and it was very, very obvious how much effort they put in, and how much love they have to make sure that the attendees have the best con that they have. But as we will discuss, it is very much a case of Comic-Con can make all the efforts that they want, and us attendees will come along and just mess that up for them and make it even harder for them. We are doing this from the it's the Indigo level. We're outside the Aqua Room at the Hilton Bayfront. If you're watching this and if you want to join us, by all means, come along.
Photo bomb.
Yeah, absolutely. And just any comments that you want to make, or anything you want to talk about Comic-Con about, do let us know. So, I mean, we were talking briefly there. I mean, has it been more a case of meeting up with your friends, or has it been as any of the content kind of grabbed your attention?
It's been a very different con for me than I had in the past. Prior to this, I've been doing mostly exclusives. This time it was really a focus on the bloggers and other blogging, with the Wrath of Khan panel, which was tremendous. We'll go into that in more detail. But that and meeting at the party and meeting everybody and discussing all of the problems that us bloggers have in terms of getting our stuff out there, which was tremendously fun, and meeting all of my friends. That's, I think, to me personally, that's the highlight of it. We had the meetup last night, the closing meetup, and had about 100 people. and all enthusiastic, and just all the tables were full, and everybody was thrilled, and everybody was exhausted, and much alcohol was consumed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Leonard had his meetup too, so
well, yes,
with the UK group, so we can imagine what happened there.
I don't think you can. I really don't.
Oh no, I was a stagehand. We did some chalk outlines a few nights on. Jimmy Buffett was the big one. We did 3 nights of Jimmy Buffett one year, and all of the stagehands who were still there the next morning, we just kind of drew chalk outlines around them wherever they happened to pass out. And so, regardless, all of the friends I met up with, just very supportive and encouraging with what I'm trying to do. Got some new plans for the forum. Was able to actually have my whole team together and talk about the new front page that we're going to be relaunching. I did do some panels, and much to everybody's humor, I actually was in Hall H on Friday.
I was fully expecting you to turn around and say, yeah, and for a change, Leonard, shut up a little bit. Yes, I did do my absolute damnedest to keep myself at a minimum, because at the end of the day, it wasn't my house. It was Tony Kim's panel.
Yes.
So I recognized my place, and if anything, Tony basically took my role of just talking a lot, but I think it was more a case of it was the time just flew. That the hour just kind of vanished. I mean, certainly the first 45 minutes, it did kind of was a little bit distressing at the fact that we weren't able to fit any Q&A in at the end. But I think because it was such an interactive panel as well, that we were kind of getting some to and fro. Tony, which Tony was instrumental in keeping that going. So that was fun. It was also great that in this panel, it was allowing us to, and allowing CCI to recognize there is this infrastructure, this community of blogging and bloggers and just general internet buzz around this convention.
Well, I would say that community is around all conventions.
Sure.
You know, all of the PopCon. But the nature of San Diego is that it is the premier convention.
Sure.
New York obviously has got, you know, secondary is coming up there and will become more in the Premier League later on.
Well, I actually think it's there already.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Absolutely.
From what I've observed and what we've seen. What else then? So that was pretty much how our con started. I mean, although I came in on the Monday, so pretty much from Tuesday I was running around. I pretty much hit the ground running and started running pretty much from the Tuesday, including meeting up with the Nerd Foo guys, which was fun. Doing a podcast with them, which was much fun.
Those guys are great in person. I got a chance to talk with them at the party, at Tony's party, and just hilarious.
If you do get the chance to go to thenerdfoo.com, do check them out, because they are, I mean, certainly the podcast, very fun.
The other people I really enjoyed was the Geekery, Angel K's group, and just real fun people to hang and have drinks with.
Sure. It was very much a case of, on the preview night, bumping into a lot of people who watch the Hangouts, watch the things that I do online, and yes, getting recognized from the cap. And from I mean, the two comments that I did get were, well, number one, good God, aren't you tall? Because at 6'4", you don't kind of tell from.
You don't blend in.
Well, I try not to. From obviously do it on the screen, so it's very difficult to judge how tall I am. At 6'4", you kind of notice me coming. And of course, there was the cap as well, which has now been consigned to distant history because I lost it last night. But anyway, it was really fun to kind of do that and get involved, and so like have people come up and talk to us about the reaction of what I do online, which was really gratifying. And everyone who I did bump into, thank you very much indeed. For those that I didn't get the chance to see, I do apologize. And hey, there's always next year, he says again. For the third year running, I always say, yeah, we'll do this next year. So preview night for you.
Preview night, we stood in line in the sales pavilion, and pretty much went through and did exclusives. That was my big thing, preview night, and I knocked a bunch of them out. It's getting to be a blur. I know I didn't get the Mondo poster that I wanted on preview night, but after preview night was the hangout, the Tony's party.
It was, yes.
So I went to the party, and I was able to get my tech guy, Jeremiah Jopare, and my global mod Zero. We all went to the party and had a blast.
I don't think I've still ever met Zero yet. I still can't put a face to her. But then again,
I think you actually did meet her.
Did I?
Yeah.
Listen, that preview night. No, I will say that this con for me has been. Same as yourself. I think it's been a different focus because I have been focusing on the website, trying to get networking out. It's been awkward because I've been wanting to enjoy my con, and I will turn around and say I didn't enjoy my con. I didn't enjoy Comic-Con this year. I endured it. You know what I mean? I was running and moving too fast to enjoy it. I think I'll enjoy it looking back. You know, so like retrograde. Retrospectively, but during the actual event of it, it was a case of hitting the ground running and doing what I could to catch up.
Can you tweet to me that link?
I think I will. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I can send it out to everybody.
Not a
Sorry,
problem.
it's going to be a little rough today, guys.
Listen,
we're all.
You know what?
It's Monday after con.
It's also a little bit smoother than usual, I suspect. But anyway,
we'll be in the same room, so we don't have the lag.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
You know, so I can actually interrupt him.
Like I say, I mean, if you're watching this and if you are in San Diego and you can get to us, like I say, we're on the Indigo level, which is 3rd floor in the Hilton Bayfront. We're outside the Aqua Room. If you want to talk on camera about your con, do let us know, and we'll go from there. You come along, join us. So preview nights for me was a case of just running around and trying to find as many people as I can. I didn't do the exclusives thing either, but I did pop along to the Funko booth because I wanted to catch up with Cameron Duell. I wanted to thank him very much indeed. Well, actually, I wanted to, because I had been on the Hangouts, been saying for something like 6-7 months that we would go try and get them on as guests to talk about the booth and about their approach to Comic-Con. And it actually ended up being that they turned around and said, no, you don't understand. We haven't been cool or distant for you for a reason. What it's been is we watch your Hangout. Which, number one, thrilled me to death. That was fantastic. But they said, no, we watched your Hangout, we watched the SDCC blogs, and we remembered the one that you did with the gentleman who runs Ace Parking, John Gazette?
Yes.
At which point we, and they said we watched that, and we watched where John was saying we've built this site from scratch, we've bomb checked it, it's going to be a smooth sailing for everyone. We're absolutely confident it's going to be amazing. We've done this, we've done that, and everything's going to work out fine. And I think we all remembered that just tanked big style. It didn't help at all. So they the guys from Funko, or Cameron, turned around and said, what we would prefer to do is make the changes, do what we need to do, and just do it. And we'll talk about it afterwards. But I did get the chance to speak to Cameron. Do check out my YouTube channel, and please subscribe if you wouldn't mind. Check it out, and it's an interesting conversation for about 15-20 minutes where I speak to Cameron about Funko and their approach to cons, because it's a fascinating thing that they do. Then it was a case of running around trying to catch up with as many people as I could. Oh no, it was that was crazy. That was crazy. Yeah. And then from there, going to the UK attendees hangout at the Fire Pit, which was fun. Fire Pit at the other Hilton, the Hilton Gaslamp. Having all the Brits show up and sort of like get very rowdy and sort of like catch up with each other and get inside the buzz of Comic-Con, that was fun. Went to the Wrath of Con bloggers party, which was also a lot of fun, but same drill. It was a case of a lot of people and trying to and meeting a lot of people for the first time and putting faces to names. It was interesting that I bought myself a pint as I came in, and I went outside and I kind of did a little bit of a tour and spoke to everyone, as many people as I possibly could, and got around to the other side. Finally got to Tony, and then suddenly realised I hadn't even taken one swig of my pint because I was too busy talking and it was networking. But that was fun. It was a good night. So that was my preview night, and not only that, but we also spent a bit of time in the convention center lining up. Now I line up slightly different to you because I line up above Hall H,
right,
which is the chute
on top of
which brings you straight into over the top over the top of Funko, but it brings you out to Artist Alley. So that was fun. It was interesting to see the booths and how they approach con this year. But I think what was most telling for me, and it started from preview night, that everybody at Comic-Con was glued to their phone. They were everyone was walking around like this
with their phone.
Now, what's your take on that? What were your thoughts?
I know that I used my phone way more this year than I had in any previous year. Of course, I kind of attributed that towards doing the blogging thing, but it was more of the alerts, especially with Mondo and the blog, the unofficial blog, and just a number of other the tweets from Comic-Con itself.
Yep.
And finding out information. Like I know as soon as being in Hall H on Friday, I know that as soon as they announced that all of us were going to get out of our seats and go over to the venue for the Star Wars concert, that it was out in a second, and everybody knew to expect 6,000 people to pile out of Hall H along the back of the convention center over to the Embarcadero. Place. So I mean, we were all cleared out. It was all cleared out, and there was stuff set up, and it was a great time walking with 6,000 Star Wars fans, and then getting our lightsabers,
which is always a giggle.
I should have brought my lightsaber.
Now I missed out on that, but we'll come back to that because obviously we'll try and go through the con day by day.
But just in terms of getting to the phone, I mean, I learned how to tweet and walk, to type and walk at the same time, which much to my friends, problem because there were some
a lot of people walking into each other this year, and I do think it was a case of a lot of people kind of they were just afraid to miss something. And because there is so much content, because there was so much stuff on offsite, because there was so much happening on the floor, because everybody is now in a group and they don't want to, so you got your one of your members of your group messages to the other group of, oh, hey, Hasbro is dropping t-shirts now, or Mondo is dropping their posters, and you don't want to miss out on that. So you're actively watching and reading everything. So that's absolutely the phone thing. Yeah, I moved my phone. That's absolutely. No, keep going.
So we had that was so on Thursday, I did Thursday. God, what was Thursday? What do we do on Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay, let me look at my schedule.
So you look at your schedule.
Yeah,
and try and remember. I mean,
first thing I did was Legos, and I have to
say,
first thing
you did on Thursday was your panel, dear.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did the panel, dear.
This is what I mean. So that was interesting. Trying to get into the panel room, and they wouldn't let us in.
You're gonna laugh at me because the first thing I did on Thursday was my Lego ticket pull. So
all about priorities.
Because that happened at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I figured that I'd do my Lego ticket pull, and I'd have plenty of time to chill and get ready for the panel. I did end up getting all of my Lego exclusives, which was a massive thing. We'll go back on. You want to talk about? Can I finish talking about Legos now?
Okay. You can talk about whatever you want.
Interesting. The huge, the lines for I'm just talking the exclusives now. There seemed to be a lot more of the exclusives this year than there were last year. And they didn't do an exclusive on Sunday. But from what I heard from people, their line on Sunday was massively short. and there were a lot of Lego boxes left over. So a lot of people who pulled tickets forgot to go get their Legos. I almost forgot to go get my Star Wars Lego on Saturday night. So just like next year, file that away if you're a Lego fan.
Yeah.
Remember that. With regards to the minifigs, I queued up the first day, so I got my Arrow derivative one, my Arrow guy. That line, massive, way past the Hilton. A lot of people with sunburns from that day. The next day, I think it was about the same, but I was in Hall H. How did I get to Hall H?
And what did you make of it?
Anyway, let me finish up about Legos. Oh yeah. But I don't think there's a lot of people who did the mask on Saturday. So I'm going to finish up on Thursday before I do Friday.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
Stick with that one. Did the 2 NASA panels. And I have to say the last NASA panel was really cool. If you get a chance to watch it on YouTube someplace, I sure it is. I sure it will be on there someplace. The guy talking about the rockets, and they had a new astronaut there. So you get just very entertaining tech guys with some raw humor. It's, if you like that sort of stuff, go through it. What did you do on Thursday?
Well, from the moment the panel finished, it was a case of it was a case of trying to catch up with as many people as I possibly could. I had I don't know what your reaction to this is going to be, but I went across to speak to Kerry from the SDCC blog.
Cool.
We talked about their efforts this year. I think anyone who is a fan of Comic-Con, they know of their work, they rely on them, and in previous years, their drive has been a case of getting as many people to visit the site and kind of doing a lot of cross-post links, and you kind of used it as a resource. And they kind of noticed this when they held their Enchantment Under the Sea, or SDCC party, which they hold on preview night. When in previous years, people have shown up, grabbed their swag bag, and left because people haven't enjoyed the blog. They have this year, because there's been an absolute change in tone. I am a big fan of the SDCC blog and what Kerry's done with it, and it's been a strong year of bridge building and getting that back, that relationship with their readers. And I think you'll notice it's been a lot of fun to read the blog and what they do. So interesting to kind of talk to them about bridge building. From there, it was a case of trying to catch up with as many people as possible. Went and did my interview with Cameron from Funko. We went from there, went to...
When are you going to put that up?
It's up. Yeah,
oh,
no, it's up online already. You can catch that. I'm going to strip the audio off and also do an audio version as well. Cool. But at the moment, you can go to the YouTube channel. It is on there. Posted that on Friday night while I was... I came to the went to Hall H on Saturday and queued out all day on Friday, and I decided, well, tell you what, I'll edit this piece of video on my iPad 2, left it at home, and just let it upload, and just so, like, as YouTube is wont to be, it took a long time to upload, but just left it on the condo upload. So I went to Entertainment Earth, which was fun to talk about what they do and how they approach their con, and they approach their figures. So that was fun. From there, it was
Thursday.
It was just running around and catching up with as many people as I could.
It's interesting what you were saying about Carrie and the blog, because I've always what somebody said about the two, me and the blog, the forum and the blog, was that you go to the blog for all of the latest information, and then you go to the forum to talk about it, and which made a lot of sense to me. And I'm glad to see that that they're trying to create a space that's more a community. And I think that was also the main focus of Tony's panel, was the community, and which is in the Wrath of Bloggers panel, a lot of attention was paid to the newer folks, newer bloggers, and I got a couple of contacts of people that I need to talk to. As a person who's doing, I think she's either a sociologist or an anthropologist and is doing some statistics. And there's also another guy who's interested in starting a community of his own for his small college, which is really nice to see people bonding together.
It was very fun to see the different approaches and see what, because Tony was very much trying to drive the conversation that it's separate voices and separate approaches. For example, they were talking to myself about how I approach it as an Englishman, as someone from outside of the US coming to the con. So that was kind of my focus. And then we talked about the forum and about how that is a source of conversation that happens. And then we had a Megan Gotch looking way too attractive and stylish for my life.
First thing in the morning.
That's just not fair. But
I needed like a third cup of coffee, and she was
up there. She was ready to go. But all in all, the panel was fun. What I really enjoyed it as well is that there were people wanting to take part in the discussion. It was in a broom cupboard and cornered off in room 14A at the mezzanine, but we had a full room.
Huge turnout,
and it was good.
Thank you, everybody who did come.
Yeah, absolutely, thank you.
It was really heartwarming.
Yeah. So that's all. We won't talk about
That's it.
That's it. We're done now.
Friday.
If you want, if you do actually want to listen to that panel, by the way, I've uploaded the audio to my SoundCloud and also to my iTunes, so you can listen.
You gotta tell me this stuff.
You see. So yeah, you're more than welcome to. You can check that out, because I stuck a microphone on and we sort of listened. So that's how you can go. You can check out the panel and certainly hear what we got up to. Then on Friday, now I was absolutely determined that I was not going to do Hall H, because people.
So was I.
People were starting to line up.
Oh, absolutely.
Pretty much from Wednesday night for Star Wars. People were doing the 2-night camp out thing, and I was thinking that is just insane to do a 2-night camp out for something. Hey, listen, if you did it and if you were happy with it, fair play to you. Absolutely fantastic. However, for myself, I just felt there was stuff I needed to do, or I could do. So I decided not to camp out Wednesday, Thursday. And indeed, Kerry was talking about the Enchantment Under the Sea party. And at a certain point, about 30 people just stood up and left. And she was wondering where everyone was going. And it was a case of they'd found out on Twitter that the line had started for Star Wars. We are going to get into the wristbands and do that.
Absolutely.
I'll do that. Do this by Then, of course, we had. I did a full camp out on Friday for Saturday. Sorry, I went down first thing on the morning and joined the line.
Stay on Friday.
Sorry.
Stay on Friday. So did you?
Friday. Friday was just a case of sitting in a line.
So you were sitting in a line.
I was
all
doing
day Friday
pretty
for
much.
Saturday.
Pretty much. I was given the opportunity and the offer to kind of do the team of us to nip off and do things, but because there was so little, we were just told about the NDL line, but we weren't told how it was going to be policed. We weren't going to be told how it was going to be how people were going to be recognized, because there was the whole one person can say for 5 people thing, so how that was going to work. I wanted to kind of stay in the line, and not only that, but it just gave me the chance to just try and kind of relax a bit, especially after the Thursday, which was a bit manic. I will say that from my own perspective, when it came to the wristbands, it was a pro and con thing. I mean, you can see what Comic-Con were trying to do. They were trying to create a safe space for people to line up, basically creating their own unofficial line with the NDL. However, what it did was it kind of backfired, because it actually, whereas before you kind of like were making up your own time to arrive for the NDL, because there was an actual space for people to line up, they took that opportunity and lined up, which means it actually started even earlier. Instead of it backfiring, because where obviously CCI would like you to get your wristband and then you can disappear.
This is why I say time out.
Fair enough. Well,
half a second. What somebody said in the talkback panel, which made an awful lot of sense to me, to CCI, and CCI heard it, was that you stopped doing on-site pre-reg because you didn't want people to spend the entire day in line waiting at con, waiting to buy your tickets for the following year. It's a never-ending circle. And in reality, that's what happened this time, is people ended up spending all of Friday in line waiting for the Saturday Hall H tickets.
Or indeed Wednesday for Thursday.
Or for Wednesday.
Thursday for Friday, sorry.
Exactly. I was in a group and for the Friday Hall H, and so ended up, ping back and forth, and ended up getting my wristband that way. That seemed to work out for me because I was able on Thursday to do some of the other things, the NASA panel that I really wanted to get to, the a couple of the exclusives that I wanted to buy. That I think there was a Mondo that I was interested in that day too. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, and then there was the kind of the late running out of the wristbands, because I was wanting to attend the Eisners, which I knew there was going to be a bit of an awkward situation, because the Eisners run between 8 and 11, and the wristbands were going to come out way before, in between that. And I actually hoped that when they determined a time at 9:45, that I would be able to come out, get my wristband, and come back in. What actually happened was I went to the Eisners, attended half of it, and then had to go back to the line, and it was a bit awkward. And because of that whole sequence with the wristbands, it did kind of mean that it was such a late. They were handed out at some point between 9:45 and 11 o'clock, which meant everyone was getting camped down and settled in the tents very late. So there's very little sleep on everyone's side.
I think they said that they didn't, somebody said on Friday night that they didn't get their wristbands. They didn't get their wristbands till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. They were down by the basketball courts.
The idea for the wristbands was a case of you're supposed to get the wristband and then you can disappear and use your hotel and kind of. But when they're handed out at 1 o'clock in the morning,
1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning,
that's backfired.
Pointless.
Yeah. So I think they could have been done a little bit earlier,
more efficiently.
Okay, certainly.
I think that's.
So did that. It was fun to actually be in the line, because they didn't do a line walk as such, because it's very difficult to move several tons worth of Batmobile up and down the tent. But we heard that growling down the street, and doing a U-turn and pulling up around the back of the tent opposite here, the Hilton Bayfront. Fun to see it. One or two people's reaction was interesting. They said that they weren't too sure how it looked. It felt it wasn't as an iconic look as some of the Batmobiles, but then of course we had Zack Snyder climb out and start riffing with the crowd. I had an interesting moment when the guy in front of me, who was trying to take pictures, decided to take a selfie by laying on the bonnet and just kind of taking a picture of myself. And all I could think was, why isn't there a member of security currently pummeling this guy into a small puddle on the floor? I was that was bizarre. But it was fun to have that come out and do that. And then
were there any other people, any other stars in the Hall H line that came out?
No.
I thought I heard there was somebody.
There was from Supernatural, that was on Saturday night or Sunday.
Okay.
Saturday night or Sunday, bringing out coffee as usual, which is as is their want.
I thought there was something about somebody bringing out pizza.
Yeah, that'd be about right. No, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. But it was a very surreal experience. And then it was a case of all that waiting for Saturday in Hall H, which for me was a blast. Eddie Ibrahim does the programming for, he's the program director for Comic-Con, and he was absolutely determined to have Hall H sweet as a nut, and he put some fantastic panels on, obviously working with the studios to get the best content. And I personally think that Hall H was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Carlo Dwyer, yes, it was Misha Collins.
Oh, right. Thank you.
I'm not a Supernatural viewer. I don't watch it. I am not one of those.
Misha's nice. I don't know. I've always liked, whenever I watch Supernatural, I enjoy Misha quite a bit. Okay. Quite a bit.
Peter Capaldi also came out to the line. When did that happen? I knew it was over for the Lego Dimensions thing. So, that's rather cool.
Hi, Carlo.
Hi, Carlo. How are you doing?
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, if you are, I mean, thank you very much indeed. And do tweet out and spread the word. Let everyone know we're doing this. We're going to talk for another, say, half an hour or so. We're going to go do an hour of this. So, Hall H.
That was your Saturday?
That was my Saturday. Hall H generally, I felt was a very strong setup. I mean, they were determined to make sure it was the best experience they could find for their fans. I mean, the whole Star Wars thing, considering that it was hyped to be the massive Star Wars panel, and then a couple of days before we were told that there's nothing new that's going to be released and it's just going to be such and such.
But Harrison Ford did come out.
Harrison Ford comes out and everyone gets escorted to a free John Williams concert experience.
Yeah, that was
fantastic. And at that concert experience, you had Harrison Ford and the full cast, Carrie Fisher, and everyone came out and had a great time. So
I did go to I had tickets to go to the Funko Fun Days party. So I had to.
Did you go?
Well, I had, as soon as we started walking out, I walked with the crowd for a while, which was always a fun thing. I love walking in large crowds. I went down to the Funko Fun Days thing just when they were starting their big thing. It was loud in there. I did go to it for a few minutes. I got some food because I was starving. And I picked up my mystery box. I went to the first few minutes of the Funko Fun Day. They're crazy. They are absolutely crazy.
I'm speaking to Cameron about it. He turned around and said it's the guy that actually runs Funko. He loves doing that because he becomes Bono for the night. He's a rock star, and he likes whipping that crowd up into a frenzy.
And he does.
Oh, absolutely.
He does. So only go if you're interested in, just being absolutely noisemakery, whirly, loud, all of it.
shall we talk about that for a second then? Because it does cover what else happened in the con in terms of the booths. Because obviously, what I wanted to talk to Cameron about was their approach to their booth this year. Because 2014. Was a bit of a car crash purely because of something that got talked about a lot at the talkback, which is the whole exhibitors. I mean, if you think that attendees, we game the system. Exhibitors are a whole other ball game, and they are fully aware of it. They are trying and thinking of anything they can do to kind of curtail the issue that they were doing. Because what was actually happening, because they were told that no exhibitors were allowed to join the Funko line, and Funko themselves did that. They said, no, let's get this for the attendees. At which point then some exhibitors had also bought attendee badges or borrowed attendee badges from other people in the building and just slipped the attendee badge. So my wife was stood next to a bearded 6'3" person looking very anxious called Alison, I believe her name was. So yeah, don't know who that was.
You got to get the gender right, guys.
If you're going to borrow a badge, make sure the gender's right. But Funko were on it. They were doing their best to police the line and make it happen. A good suggestion came out of the talkback. It sounds so simple.
Yes. Was brilliant, and he did it with such style with the little dance he did at the thing. Are you going to say, or should I?
No, go for it.
Okay. A friend of mine who I've known for a number of years spoke at the talkback panel, and he does a lot of exclusives. And one of the things he suggested was make all of the exhibitors put on a wristband.
Very much like the Hall H, so it can't be removed.
So it can't be removed.
I'm going to try and find some water.
Jeez, hurry up.
Go on.
Hurry up.
Talk about the suggestion and basically about what your experience with the booth is like.
Yeah, I can do that. The spig is right over there. So he put the wristband on all of the exhibitors' wrists and make that one of the things that they have to show to get in is their pass and their wristband. This identifies them. So if any of the exhibitors go to a booth, they have to. They've got to show the wrists to see whether or not there's a wristband. Make it neon orange, something like that. Excellent suggestion by Raj. In general, I found the Lego booth with the ticket polls went exceedingly well. And the Hasbro booth seemed to go very well too. They did sell out of stuff, which is to be expected on Saturday, Sunday. But the Mondo booth, there was a little bit on Saturday when they did their two big drops of the Witches poster, and which was to be signed by two people,
Snyder and Jock.
Yeah, Snyder and Jock. It was supposed to be signed. Snyder didn't show up till late Sunday afternoon. He was double booked. But the primary problem was the convention, Mondo convention exclusive of the Ant-Man poster. Absolutely gorgeous, and yes, I got mine.
Nice.
So that was
nice.
the cool thing, because being the huge Ant-Man fan.
Yeah.
And the really cute one, the mini Ant-Man in the Matchbox. If you guys didn't get that one, that is the cutest thing ever.
So what was your experience in general when it came to lines? Do you think because people were talking in the talkback that there were complaints about, say, for example, a number of booths did the first 150 to get to the booth would get an exclusive, at which point that kind of puts pressure on CCI and how they manage lines. So I found that interesting to get discussed.
It didn't seem, with the tickets, it didn't seem necessary, the Lego and the Hasbro ticketing system. Now, granted, not the Hasbro, because there is such a high demand for those, but it didn't seem as though there was the push to, I must be the first 150 people, which is smart. And especially with how Lego did it with the random poll, as opposed to Hasbro, which is first come, first get a ticket. It made a lot of sense to me. And in general, aside from the fact that during one of the minifig things, it was way back to the Hilton.
Sure.
I like the random. I know a lot of people don't, but at least it's not forcing you into, I have to be the first 100 people through the door concept, which was good. Mondo was tricky. Mondo is always tricky because of their fanatic followings. So they did have a lot of lines on the floor, but I didn't notice a lot of lines on the sales floor myself this year. Did you walk the floor a lot?
I walked the floor, and I did notice a number of lines forming for various bits and pieces. I did. Okay. What I found this year, and I think it kind of ties in with this, is that people weren't. I mean, it also ties in with the fact that there were very few kids in the building. There was a marked decline in that. There was very few cosplayers, a very marked decline on that. Those kind of like were definitely not as present as usual. It was very much a case of people running around trying to get as much as they can out of their con, including exclusives with the phone. Well, just generally, I mean, everyone just seemed in a hurry, and it seemed like they weren't taking time to enjoy their con. And I certainly felt that as well. I mean, on the Sunday, if we just kind of wrap up our individual weeks, my Sunday was bumping into Cameron again to say thank you very much indeed. I also tried to get another competition that we're going to announce a little bit later, which is going to be around their collector core, which is going to be
wonderful.
Cool. Especially when he was talking about the next box, which is Secret Wars, and turning around and saying that if you think the Avengers and the Ant-Man boxes have been impressive, you have seen nothing yet. Looking forward to that. Nice. So do keep watching.
I love their boxes.
I do. Do keep watching the Hangouts and the sites. I will let you know about that competition when it gets announced. Speaking to them, then going around Artist Alley, which is kind of the first time I've actually done it. This year's been the first year I've actually got back into collecting my comics again and my variants. And I did everything I could to get every single one of them signed, which I did. I got all my signatures that I wanted, apart from Kieran Gillen, but the guy is based in the UK. He's going to be at Thought.
I did nothing with my comics. I brought
you brought them.
I brought them, and I did nothing with them. I didn't even open up a CGC ticket to. I know. I got. New York Con, I'm going to have to do comics. Yeah, that's just mandatory. So are you going to come to New York this year? Way to put them on the spot.
I would absolutely love to if I could. I think it's more a case of just finances at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was. My con was all about touching base and creating the connection, so I could do that kind of thing and go to other cons, and I absolutely would love to. I suspect that it's not this year. Who knows? Although it's got to be said, I was having more fun talking to people who were bumping into me, and actually the viewers, that was entertaining. So yeah, on Sunday did my comics.
Yep.
Then went to I'm gonna talk about this live, just so I can say.
Danger.
Well, yeah, it's more a case of at least then I can't get told I'm hiding what's happened. I got invited as part of all the raft of emails that come through for press. One of them was Comixology, which has signed a deal with Delacour, which is the largest publisher of French-speaking comics in France. At which point I then got an email from Chip that runs the marketing for Comixology, and turned around and said, no, I think this would be a good piece for the Englishman site. I think you should come along and do this. I went, and like every other invite I've had this year, I just went, yeah, sure, RSVP, not a problem at all. At which point I then got an email on the morning. I got an email on the morning, basically saying, right, we've got the guy in. He's going to talk to you. Come along and speak to him. And it's Guy Delacour. It's the guy who owns the business. And there I'm going, okay, my site runs. It talks about Comic-Con. It talks about all the bits and pieces around a convention, but it doesn't really talk about reviews, and it doesn't do things. I don't really know what I'm talking about. So I thought, you know what? I think I can do an interview. I think I can hold my own. I can wing it. At which point I then showed up at the booth. The door opens to let the last person out who was speaking to the guy, and it was Heidi McDonald from The Beat, who's a known reporter. She's very strong in. She's been doing this for a while. For people who follow comics reporting, to follow her, and I'm thinking, I am so out of my league here. This is insane. Oh yeah, very quickly before actually the part of the running around, I completely forgot as well. Before I got to that as well, I also interviewed John Schnepp, who has done the documentary about Death of Superman Lives. Got to speak to him, got to speak to Holly, his partner and producer. That I can do. Talking about a Superman film, that I can do. Comics industry stuff, I think I just about blagged it. I think I just got about. I did send an email to Comixology this morning, basically saying, please tell me I didn't embarrass myself at the very least. So there was that. Very quickly ran up and caught the back end of Jim Lee's panel, which was entertaining, if anything, because right at the very end, I went up and spoke to Jim because I got a bunch of last year's souvenir guides signed. Which I'm going to be giving out on the website.
Nice.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And he remembered me and mentioned by name.
Oh, fine.
Said, "Oh yes, your introduction last year." And it's getting to the point where I'm just, and then went to the talk back and having John Peter, certainly all the guys from CCI.
We'll talk about Talkback in a moment.
Yeah, okay.
So, so my Sunday, I went to a Marvel premiere, the Marvel Unlimited Plus panel by Agent M. It does it. What's this guy? What's his name?
Ryan Penagos.
Ryan Penagos. Always entertaining, always informative, and usually at San Diego, we get to see some really cool footage. Got to see 7 minutes of the Ant-Man movie.
Nice.
Way longer than anything else out there. It looks good. Give it a try.
Friday, kids.
Yep, give it a try. It's worth it. It seems like it's going to be worth it. I also did get to see a little bit of the Avengers coming up. The Ultron, not Age of Ultron. Sorry, the next one coming up. Thanos. Which.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. No. Apparently they did some viewing at another venue, which. Earlier this year that not many people saw, something like M3. I'm not really sure what it was. I should have written it down. I know, just con brain, fuzzy, gone. Okay. But it did look very. The whole audience was right there with it. It was only like 2 or 3 minutes, so it was a preview length kind of thing. But way cool. Way cool. After that, we did. I did my volunteer slot got my last minute stuff, and
you got a very cool T-shirt out of that.
Yes, I did.
The volunteer T-shirt this year
Yeah.
is probably better than the actual CCI T-shirt this year. But then again, I think I've already discussed that I'm not a massive fan. They should have used that spirit design, which is on the souvenir guide, which is gorgeous. And instead they used this flash thing. But the volunteer T-shirt, very nice.
I did get my son. I was able to get my son to go up to the Hyatt, walk up to the Hyatt for me and get the shirt.
Exercise.
Yeah, he needs, because he's 15. You know, he can do that, and you know, it got him out of my hair too, so I didn't have to deal with it. Then he had to go back and get his stamp, and then go back to the Hyatt. So it was like a good hour of like, I don't have to deal with you. Then we went to the talkback panel,
which was fun. I actually enjoyed it. I mean, I do enjoy the talkback panel generally. Admittedly, there is a running mantra with everyone who makes comments, which goes along the lines of, I'm a long-time attendee. I'm a massive fan of what you do. Thank you very much indeed for putting on the con. But take that variation of that theme, repeat for an hour and a half, and that's what you got with a talkback. A lot of people usually do complain about the treatment and how ADA are run. There always seems to be a lot of complaints about that, and of course you always get the lines. This year, however, there was a little bit of a shift because there was more about the wristbands and about how wristbands were held and done at the ship.
But just to go back to the ADA thing, I think that a lot of times people want to point out to more able-bodied people how things could be run just a little bit smoother. And for that, I think it's a valuable feedback that CCI gets. Just because we don't understand how hard it is to do certain things, it should be brought up.
Yeah. And I mean, the one thing I do certainly take away from the talkback, and certainly with the comments that John Peters does make up on stage, that it is all about they make every effort to make it a better con for us. And we find out every year that then we
sometimes
we screw it up. We screw it up for them and make it even harder. It was. I mean, it was. I also quite like the talkback, if anything, because it is a talkback. We make our statements, we make our complaints, we do a lot of griping and sort of people growling in the audience, and Justin just sits there and writes it down.
Because he's very old school. He's not a technology guy.
It's also more a case of, so what, you're expecting me to say something which is going to change CCI policy right here in this part? No, I'm just going to write it down.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Next. At which point you a lot of people do kind of go, well, give me an answer. At which point you go, no, you're talking to me. This isn't a two-way discussion. I love John for that.
Yeah.
John does also, I mean, I quite liked the thing he talked about with Petco. Once again, someone coming up with the statement that perhaps CCI could use Petco, at which point I was muttering rather loudly under my breath, going,
very loudly.
Okay, how the holy hell is CCI supposed to afford
It wasn't so much about affording. It's just.
Oh no, it is very much about the experience as well.
Well, the experience, but to my mind, I mean, even just standing in the Lego line for an hour and getting sunburned on Thursday. Imagine sitting in the sun for 6 hours, and the amount of sunburn that would be going on. That would make everybody's con miserable.
Yeah. At which point he then was talking about, and then we looked into putting some kind of tenting over the top and aircon, and then the price goes nuts.
He sent out
they do make the research into this.
$1 million, he was saying it would cost to do the AC and the tent over Petco. So anyway, I
don't expect that anytime soon.
It's not going to happen.
Although I put a suggestion forward to someone in a line. You know what? If they turned the green or turned the actual pitch into a campsite, I'd camp there.
Oh, camping on the baseball field in the middle of the season? No, that's not going to happen. Never, ever.
All right,
no,
okay.
No, it would never happen.
Okay, so let's kind of head towards our wrap up then of this.
We did have the Rosh who made the suggestion about wristbands.
Sure.
And I think the point to be taken there, we talked about that earlier, so not going into that again. But the point is that the only way that CCI is going to hear what we have to say, if they don't read it on my forum, if they don't read it, in the social medias, is in the talkback panel. So if you've got a good suggestion on how to do something better, Put it out there. Come to the talkback panels,
or even just send it out to them as an email or something.
Yeah.
I guarantee they will have discussed every solution under the sun.
Well,
and
they may not have. I mean, I don't know if they ever thought of the idea of Rosh's that Rosh put forward about exhibitors wearing a wristband.
Yeah.
You know.
So you may see that next year. I think it was a good suggestion. It's definitely a light bulb moment. There.
John seems to say, "Wow, that's a good idea."
Sure.
You know.
So, in my take on the con this year, because my take was slightly different this year, it was very difficult for me to, like I say, enjoy my con, and I don't think I properly did. And I will only probably enjoy my con looking back at it and talking about looking back at the things that I did experience.
When he's not hungover.
Oh, good grief, there is that. But during the event itself, it was difficult for me to enjoy it, but also work out what my focus was, because I could either go as a general attendee and do the lining up thing and doing all the booths, or do the press thing, which is basically where you don't do, it's a whole different con. You're in press rooms all the time, trying to balance the two perhaps. And when I've talked about my experiences first year of press this year, it really has been a case of the other people who have thought about applying for it have just gone, you know what, I don't think I want to do it now. If I'd have thought about it, well, I'm going to have to think about when I get home, whether I actually,
what you want to do next year.
Whether the press thing was actually a burden or whatever. Okay. What else? Sorry, I'm just looking at my text as well. We may have to wrap this up pretty quick as well, because I've just been informed that my passport has been washed. So.
Oh, it should be fine.
It should be okay. Yeah,
it should be, you know, maybe a little free.
Hey, listen, considering that my wife's has got red, sort of like red alcohol pop all over hers, I think it's good that a defaced passport is kind of like in the cards. I
think I need to find my ID. Okay. I'm not sure where it is.
Right. So yourself, I mean, did you enjoy your con?
I did. I did enjoy my con. I enjoyed my friends tremendously. I enjoyed getting a couple of exclusives. I have to say that's it. But primarily, I enjoyed hanging out with my friends and being a blogger.
Yeah. I think the pair of us are going to have to talk to a lot more attendees about their experience, because ours was slightly different to most, and I think we're going to have to actually talk to attendees about how it actually went. But from our perspective, I think it was a very successful con in that it was put on incredibly well. I mean, there's a couple of moans, a couple of gripes, but I think the one thing that came out of the talkback was this is still the one that it is the benchmark, and they absolutely put on the best event they can. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens from here on in, because a lot of people were glued to their phone, and they, like I say, there seemed to be a lot more intensity to attendees this year. It seemed very much a case of, it seemed very intense generally, which is going to be interesting. To see how that, because I think a lot of people need to get the joy back into Comic-Con, perhaps.
Just wanted to say that I am going to be at the Boston Con, and we'll probably be doing if you're interested, doing a walk around.
That would be fantastic
for that. And I'm trying to figure out what the date. It's in 17 days. So on the Boston Con site,
I will be back in the UK. I am going to be sticking around. I've been looking forward to this. This is my vacation time now. I'm going to actually enjoy San Diego. If you do get the chance to actually take the time to enjoy the city, I really would recommend it, because it's beautiful.
Oh, absolutely.
Beautiful city.
So that's going to
happen. Which also ties in with the whole that it's sticking around Comic-Con until 2018,
in San Diego,
which is just a great,
great absolutely
thing. Yeah.
So August 2nd, we'll be doing a little walkabout of the floor of the Boston Comic-Con. I guess next week we'll probably be doing attendees.
It's not going to be next Sunday. It's going to be the Sunday after.
So no hangout
next week. No hangout this Sunday.
Really?
No, I'll tell you what. Excuse me. I'm going to be in a tube floating down a river with a beer in my hand, enjoying myself and taking a well-earned break.
This is a river tour.
This is, I mean, yeah, I'm taking 2 weeks to just relax now. So, and also kind of sift through everything. But no, in 2 weeks' time, we'll try and get a number of attendees on to the Hangout to try and talk about their experience. I think that'd be fun.
I think that'll put it around about August 2nd, won't it?
I believe it will. Let me just have a look at check the dates when it piles up.
Oh no. No, so on the 26th.
26th.
We're gonna have.
That's gonna be the next one.
We'll be doing attendees. So get your stories together. Post them.
Yeah.
Bring them up.
I'd like to try and get Tony on as well. Well, I don't know. I'd like to try and get a whole bunch of people.
Absolutely.
I'd even like to get Kerry on and see what, because Kerry's approach to the con was different as well this year. So
absolutely.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what your stories are. So do let us know if you want to take part in the Hangout. That'd be fun. So all in all, I'd think to wrap it up in a bow, the con's been a success. Yes. I think they continue to grow and build. I think now that there's some kind of definite idea that it's here till 2018, that gives them 16, 17, 18 to continue to build around around the city and grow the campus.
And what that says to me is that they reach a long-term solution with the hotels. Which is, so yes, revisit us next. What is it, March for travel planners? Again, probably, maybe travel planners. Thoughts out go to everybody who's traveling today.
Yes.
And making their way home. Safe travels. Don't go too fast. Don't hit anything. Be safe.
Yes.
Be safe, because we want to see you next year.
Absolutely. From myself, for everybody who's been watching the Cup of Teas over the last 3-4 months leading up to, it's been a long road to get to San Diego, but we've got here, and hopefully you had an amazing time, and thanks for joining us on the journey.
So 364 more days till Comic-Con.
Really? Really? We're gonna do that?
Absolutely. I have thoroughly enjoyed doing this in person with you.
Ooh, it's gonna be
This is great doing this.
I've enjoyed it.
And
it's a shame that we don't get the chance to.
Absolutely, would have loved to do it more often.
Also, I'm going to but there's a couple of announcements coming about the Cup of Tea, so do watch this space. Yeah, indeed. Thank you very much indeed for watching over the last couple of months, and again, thanks for watching for this one. Hope you've had a fantastic con, and from San Diego, take care.
Bye-bye.
I'd like to thank Alyssa for joining us. Alyssa, you've made it so much better to do these.
And thank you so much for this partnership. Okay. I love the partnership between you and I. And
we're now going to book a hotel room for an hour. We need to discuss some things. All right. Okay. Take care. Thank you very much indeed, and safe journey home.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.